5 parts of every business. 1, value creation, and 5, finance. Take any of these 10 out and you are not running a business.
When it comes to making money, it is the most spiritual thing that can ever happen on this earth, and people don't get it. You don't necessarily have to come up with any unique idea. You can always do what is working. There can be visibility for anything you want to be visible. Everybody's telling you to focus. Just do one thing, let it work, and repeat it. But the people who are actually doing well in business have multiple businesses. You can never have a balance if you focus, and anytime you focus, you're losing balance, and anytime you balance in, you're losing focus.
If you've built yourself, maybe you might have started with one business. Now you can add up to the already existing business to get more businesses. Be running all of them concurrently because you've built skills which you can leverage on, and also even recruit other people onto, so that you can get time to do other stuff.
That is exactly how it works. Never sell what you are passionate about. Sell what people want. If you are able to beg a fellow human for money, why can't you ask them to patronize whatever you are selling?
We fear rejection.
We fear rejection.
Welcome to another episode on the King Obed podcast. On this episode, this is a man you've met a couple of times. This is his 3rd time on the King Obed podcast. And anytime we meet this man, it's purely and strictly business. This is a man who has dedicated his active life to just opening businesses, doing businesses of all sorts. And we are here on this episode again to learn about his methods, how he's thriving in all the business enterprises that he started or he's into. Recently, he, together with his wife, introduced a new product which is on the market. We'll talk about how you can set up your business irrespective of wherever you find yourselves. The dynamics might be a bit different, but we try as much as possible to make you understand what it means to start a business, how to sustain it, how to scale it, make it marketable, and all. So welcome to the King Obed podcast, Dennis.
Thank you, Doc. Glad to be here again.
Yeah. We've had this conversation backstage for a very long time, and then finally you are on. Yeah. So from the time we met up to this point, what has changed? What is the new thing on board? Any new thing you are doing? Any new product you want us to know? You want audience to know?
Yeah, well, it's been a long time. I mean, in between that time, as you know, I am always going or attempting new businesses because I have this belief and conviction that, like everybody says, record says that 9 out of 10 businesses fail. So the success rate for businesses is 10%, right? So reasonably, if you're not lucky, if you do 10 businesses by the statistics, one of them at least is going to succeed. I've been fortunate that most of my businesses that I've attempted are still operating. So I'm on the good side, but I still strive to get 10 businesses going at a time. It's a difficult thing to do. People always tell you don't have to split your time and do things and just lose focus. But the same people have time to watch series with 20 episodes. And the rich folks that will tell you that they go fishing. Some of them play PS, some of them go tennis. I don't do all of that. So I do business. That is my active sport. So for me, I think I'm a bit, contrarian when it comes to focus. My point is you can never have a balance if you focus. And anytime you focus, you're losing balance. And anytime you balance in, you're losing focus. So for me, there is nothing like focus on one thing and that is it. I just need to get things done. So from then to now, as you know, I've acquired a car wash bay. I think we've spoken about that already. A car wash that is doing pretty well. Recently, my wife and I have co-founded a brand. It's water for just women, which is a funny product we put out there, but it is crazy what attention is gotten and how it is doing. Yeah, so it's one man doing many things at a time, and thankfully to God, it is working.
But it's interesting how you've been in active business, trying to, like you're saying, trying to do businesses all at a go, and then you are still thriving. What is the secret? What is keeping you going?
Yeah, I think the skills that you need to require you require to operate multiple businesses, they are mutual.
Okay.
If you look at my spectrum of businesses, I'll say it that way because if people say I'm a serial entrepreneur, I should be happy to say I have a spectrum of businesses. I have like a portfolio that is not really related to each other. So for instance, I have a car wash, I have a cleaning business, I have software, I have 2 software businesses, startups, and even now we are into fast-moving consumer goods. They are all different things. But what is required? Skills. Sales skills alone that I've acquired or I've improved or aced are using my car wash. When I'm at my car wash and somebody comes to just do the exterior of their car, I'm able to tell them, look, why don't do the interior? Because it will cost you just this amount of money and this how much you're saving. If they are doing just the exterior, I'll be like, okay, why don't you apply a coat on it for you? I mean, it's almost, I mean, we're getting to times where the weather will start getting hot and your paint work is going to fade away. The weather has a big impact on your paint work. So why don't you put this on it? So that is upselling them. When I come to my cleaning business, it's the same skill. When somebody wants me to do just their kitchen, I let them know that I can do your kitchen for £120. But if you add the rest of the rooms, it will be just 200. So that's £80 to do your whole house instead of just the kitchen.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm just moving my overhead. That is sales. When it comes to my tech businesses, it is easy because for that one, you're just running ads and you have to be good at copywriting, writing things that make people see you as a value. For instance, I always really tell people that QuickBooks, I mean, it's taking too much of your money. So why don't you get what you would have gotten from QuickBooks for half of the price? That is sales. And again, you have to sell to people to work for you.
Yeah.
What my wife, I have co-founded with her. In as much as we are not on the street selling, most of your sales is done with the manufacturers. And of course, now that we are going to grow and scale it, you're going to do the same sales with all of these outlets and big shop to take in your products to get in the shelves. And so one thing that works is that the same thing I'm using for business A, business B is the same thing I'm going to use for business C. So there is no point to not do multiple things because I really will be redundant if I'm using all I'm worth to do just one thing.
Yeah. Interesting because, people say, like you said, you're talking about focus. People say just focus on one aspect of it. But I could see that the people who are into business keep on, opening so many businesses or branches or avenues, and they do it so well. And that even for those who have not started, cannot even start even just a single business. That is what I just wanted to find out. What keeps people going, those who are already established in the business, because they keep opening and opening each and every day, like expanding their businesses.
Yeah. It is you realizing, I think one thing is, so the question is this is so, it's such a great question because everybody's telling you to focus, just do one thing, let it work and repeat it. Fair enough, that is how businesses run. But the people who are actually doing well in business have multiple businesses. Jeff Bezos has multiple businesses. He literally has like a graveyard of businesses that he started that failed, and we can talk about them even after Amazon. Somebody who can have billions to start a business, still fail at business, but they keep going. Elon Musk, he's even going to open another business tomorrow. We don't know. You understand? The Boring Company, SpaceX, X, Tesla, Grok, like he's doing everything. And one thing we don't realize is that people are just empathizing with you as a startup. When you are starting in business, of course, who can ever start with 10 businesses? No way. You have to start with one. Until you get to the point when you are convicted that the skill that you have could be leveraged on multiple with multiple businesses. And that is where you realize that you can do more. So in as much as it is a bit contrary to the normal thing that you have to do just one thing, grow it as huge as possible. Yes, it is. There are some of us, we may never, or some of the people that do business, they may never do £1 million business or £1 billion business or £100 million business, but they will have small £200,000 businesses. They have 10 of them, and that is 2 million. So depending on where you roll in, you don't have to necessarily start one thing and wait till 10 years and realize that this doesn't work or this will never make me £1 million. You can do more. So if you know that the skills you have could be leveraged and you could do many other businesses with it, trust me, just go on to do it. Let me give you an example.
Continue.
My most concern that I had was sleep. When I was doing one business and when I was learning the skills and the competencies to operate businesses, I wasn't sleeping well. Now I got to the point where I became very skillful. I knew how to employ. Look, I could just employ tomorrow and I'll get the best out of people to work with me. I can sell a dream to anybody to work with, not just anybody, I mean to many people to work with me, and they would. So I have that skill. When I got to that point where I could really leverage on these skills, I opened more businesses. It will shock you that I am having my best sleep time now. Why is it so? Because as I grow older and I get more experience in business, I become better. So now that I'm actually doing more businesses, it is now that I'm actually having more time to myself. Back then, when I was learning, that was when I was staying up too late to do things that I could get somebody to do for me. So all I did was now to really know how to recruit. So what I've gotten better, and I told you like from start, sales, either selling to the customer or selling to somebody to what? Selling my dream to somebody to work with me. And when you get that better, when you get that thing going, you know that people are ready to work with you. You delegate most of the things and you have time back. And that's how I'm here with you today because I have some time back myself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So now you've built the business to a point that, or you've built yourself in the business to a point that now you'll be able to buy time back. So you've built these skills along the business lines. And because you are in the business, you've been able to build the skills which keeps on running the businesses. So it's not like we should look for the skills before we go into the business.
No.
Right?
You rather attain the skills when you
In the
start a
business.
business. So when you start a business, and if it's your first one, your aim is not just to make money. Your aim is to build a character, to build the competencies, to acquire the skills that helps you to run a business. And when you are able to run a business, even into failure, it is enough to tell you how not to do what you did that made you fail. That is enough. Yeah,
Okay.
that is enough. So building your first business is not just about profit. You are building your character, your competencies, and acquiring all the skills it takes. Sometimes even learning how to face rejection is something that can take people years. Look, there are people who are 70 years and they don't know even how to approach people because they don't like people telling them no. And if you don't know that, you cannot build a business. So sometimes these are all the things you are learning. When you get to that level where you don't cringe at just approaching a bare stranger to talk to them about your business, or just picking a phone and doing a cold call to a company to, just embarrass yourself, and maybe you don't even know the technologies properly. If you're not able to do all of these things, you'll never get to the next level.
Yeah.
And it is until then you know that you have skills that can run a business. And the funny thing, like we've said, is that when you get to that point where you know the skills, you know that you can leverage it across multiple businesses, and you are not just working too hard. You are just leveraging on your skill. So a typical example is if you share a business idea with me today, all I'm thinking about is how to raise funds for it, how to get people to do it, and how to develop a structure to get it running, and I'm out. So I can just commit 1 month with you, start a new business, and I still have my time back again. I'm having one more business in my portfolio, but I'm not adding too much time to my portfolio.
So if you've built yourself, maybe you might have started with one business or one enterprise, and then through that one enterprise, you've built yourself. Now you can add up to the already existing business to get more businesses. By that time, you'll be running all of them concurrently because you've built skills which you can leverage on, and also even recruit other people onto so that you can get time to do other stuff.
Yeah, that is exactly how it works. So, and like I mentioned, like all the time as a business person, the farther you are away from the basic deliverables of the business, the richer you become. So normally there is this saying that the farmer that is closest to the soil is the poorest. When you look at, the strata of farmers we have, there are farmers who are tilling the land. They don't have no money. The farmer that says I'm a farmer but has tractors, has 1,000 actual laborers working on the ground, they are the correct farmers. So now we have farmers who are actually doing the work, and we have farmers who have employed people to do the work.
Yeah.
So they say they are farmers, but they've never been to the farm in the last 6 months. All they see is a spreadsheet. All they see is what is the yield. All they see is what is the percentage losses. What is the post-harvest losses? What is cost of transportation? And that is what they check. So for you as a business person, it is incumbent for you to learn the basic deliverable, how the job is done, so that at least you know what happens when your people are on the ground. However, your aim is not to be operating on that level. Your aim is to step as far back as possible to see the bigger picture, to see the brighter side of things, so that you can orchestrate the whole thing. And that is how it works for business people. The more you are getting the skills that make you manage people, the better your life becomes. And I always saw this people that this is funny. I went to a program, the last program I went to, I told them, like, for me, I'm literally like an agency. I get a job, I get people to do it, and that is it. I'm just pairing jobs with, team members to get it done, and that is it.
Yeah.
And that is what becomes of you as a business person. If you look at Lil Max, all they say about him is that he's always involved in recruiting the top people who are going to move the needle in the company. If the first 1,000 people, in Tesla he was active in recruiting the first 1,000 people, it tells you what he is. He's literally an HR guy. He's a recruiter. And that is what you do as a business person. Then, of course, what skills do you use to recruit? A sales skill. The same skill, you switch it and get loans from the banks, get funding from investors, and also get customers. And that is how businesses work. Be a salesperson and your life will be easy.
Interesting, because most of us are afraid of even starting a business because we think, one, we don't have that capacity to be able to run a business, to maintain a business. And I've heard a couple of people saying that not everyone can be an entrepreneur, not everyone can be a business owner. And then I think that section of the people have accepted that. So they are moving with that. Let these people talk. They come and then just want to motivate you, but not everyone is destined to be a business owner. What do you say to that?
Yeah, so it's not everyone that is destined to be rich. Yeah, because everybody is running a business. And I always say this without equivocation that, look, how do we write CVs? You put your best foot forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
You say things you've done. Even sometimes people even lie on their CVs. If they've really, done something like something that is very simple, like they helped somebody to get out of an emotional trouble, let's say a family member, they can really put in a CV to make it feel like they were a counselor. It is not a lie, but it is what sugarcoating it to look good. And that is sales. That is typical sales. So if you are actually able to sell yourself, and what shocks me is that some people are very good at just changing jobs. They've done like 4 different jobs and they've been able to bid their salaries high.
Yeah.
And what do the sales guys that earn $400,000 in Microsoft do? The same thing you do with your boss to get a salary increment. The same thing how you show them the work you've been doing and how you are being underpaid and how you want the board or whoever is in charge, the stakeholders to relook at what you do and give you a pay rise. That is how big companies sell big tech. Big companies sell big products to what? So the whole thing is that some people are not destined to be what? Rich. This is the difference. So you are able to write a CV, go for 7 interviews, get an employment at a good company. Do you know the average for these big jobs that gives you 6 figures and over? Some of them you attend at around 6, 7 interviews. They even let you interview with the team that you're going to be working with, so that they also feel like, okay, we think he's going to or she's going to fit in the team. So if you are able to do all of these things for 100K, why don't you do it for $1 million? But there's a difference. The person who is not destined to be rich is looking for opportunities. But the person who is destined to be rich is creating opportunities. And that is why I'm doing this. I am creating opportunities. And the person who is going to work with me is also looking for opportunities to get paid. So it's either you want to look for opportunities or you want to create opportunities. You'll be very wealthy or you do well normally. Or to the person who is wealthy, will do not be wealthy or you'll be poor. And that is how it works. So choose your side. But we are all doing business. If you are looking for a job,
we are all businesses.
You're all doing business. So exactly, so for me, I leverage on people's time to make as much money, right? So everybody that is working for me is selling their time to me and I pay them off. Are they not selling?
They are selling.
They are selling.
They are selling.
What are they selling?
Their
time. And what am I selling? People's time. So you see, when we talk as business people, it looks very rude. Like, oh, really? You can really claim you're selling people's time? Yes, that is what businesses do. If you work for government, that is what government does. Government buys your time to come and sit down, to look at public records, to check people's stuff, to check, when I used to work in taxes, HMRC, you sit down, do the compliance, and they pay you and you go away. Everybody you are working for is paying for your time. And all the time, when you feel like you're not getting enough salary, you switch jobs. You are going to sell the same amount of time for a bigger rate. And how not business is this? This is business. The same way like we sell water, £1 in the corner shops, we sell it £7 in the airports.
Yeah.
The same 1 hour that somebody gets £12.21 as minimum wage for, somebody gets paid £100 for it. So where you position yourself is what you are getting. So if you know that you are selling your time, it is not different from me who is selling a product. Or it's not different from me who is creating opportunities for the people who are looking for opportunities. So I can leverage their time to make money. So if somebody is making minimum wage with me and I'm making half of it on the person, that means every hour I'm able to pay them, I'm making half of whatever they are making. So let's say I pay somebody £13 and I'm making £6 of the person for 10 hours a day. That is £60. If I have 10 of them, that is £600. How many people make £600 in a day? And that is what makes us different from those who are working. So trust me, we are all entrepreneurs. We are all selling something, but some of us are selling what you are selling, and that is your time.
Interesting. I read this book. I got a chance to read this book, and then it talks about the 5 parts of every business. So the first quote is that it says, a business is a repeatable process that makes money. Everything else is a hobby. Said by Paul Fred, a serial entrepreneur and commercialization expert. Now, in the book, he puts out that there are 5 parts of every business. 1, value creation. 2, marketing. 3, sales. 4, value delivery. And 5, finance. These are, so anyone who is not, he says, take any of these 10 out and you are not running a business.
Yeah. Straightforward. You won't be running a business if you're not making money. And one thing is, when it comes to making money, it is the most spiritual thing that can ever happen on this earth, and people don't get it. So we all wake up today and I want to make money. And I don't know where the money is, but I know the money is in somebody's pocket. So what the book says is true. You create value. So I create value for you. And at that time, what is the value for you? One thing with selling is that it's either you are giving people back their time, or you are taking the risk off people's head, or you are giving people status. So anything I'm selling to you is either, let's say you want to, mow your own lawns. It takes you 4 hours. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to charge you 20 pounds for it. And you don't have to spend 4 hours. I will spend that 4 hours and get it done. Whether I get it done in 2 days, 1 day, or 30 minutes, I buy you that back. I buy you back that time, and you are happy to pay 20 pounds for it. That is clear value, as this book has stated. Secondly, the risk. Maybe you have kids at home. You don't know how to go around it, even yourself. You don't know how to operate the mower. So there is a risk of you cutting your limbs. So I am the skillful person. So I take the risk off you and I do it for you. For instance, you need to travel to US to, do some delivery, do some workshops and everything. Let me say to do stuff, right? And it is risky to get on a plane. Of course. I'm like, okay, pay me £1,000. I'm your butler. I'm going to get this done. I'm your PA, personal assistant. I'm going to get this done, and you don't have to ever get on a plane. If anybody dies in a plane crash, it is me. Pay me £1,000. I've bought you. I've taken that risk off your head. That is where the cars come in. That is where people buy more for a product. That is where there are shoes that are £100, but there are shoes that are £2,000 because it has red soles, the Louboutins. People don't buy it because it feels good to work on a red sole. Because when they sit and there is a least chance that people see beneath their shoes and it's red, they know, oh, really, these guys can afford Louboutins. And that is status. So the value creation that this book has spoken about, I've also expatiated on it. The value to people is either the time you are giving back to them, the risk you're taking off their head, or the status you are giving to them. So this is also on point. It is true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I think one of the reasons why most people do not even have a business idea or anything, or they don't like talking about business, is that they have no problem to solve. And then I think the book talks about it, the fact that every business should be solving a problem and giving value to people. So when you are giving what people need, then they'll be ready to pay for it. But it appears majority of the people who do not even want to talk about business and even want to take the risk of going to business do not have anything meaningful to offer people. So they just sit and say business is not for everyone.
And that is also true. The thing is, so let's give an example. So my wife, has a water company now.
Yeah.
I've started with her. I'm literally working for her. Do you think we have a problem with water? No. People want to get water to buy.
Yeah, different kinds of water right? From different companies and all, and then different forms and all. Yeah.
It's a flooded market, right?
Yeah.
But the whole point is visibility. Can she also have a water brand? Yes.
Yes.
She has it. And why would she just go to an industry which already exists? There comes the blue ocean and the red ocean. I think I've explained this before. On your pod.
Yeah.
So of course, the red ocean is where everything is in abundance. It's already existing. So you can just get into the blue ocean is what? You trying to introduce a new idea like Airbnb back then. It depends on the amount of risks you want to take. So there are billions of people on this planet, right? You don't necessarily have to come up with a unique idea. You can always do what is working. So my wife decided that, look, water is something people buy all the time, and I can get people looking at my water. I can sell it. So now she has put water in these beautiful cans, and trust me, the water is not even, one that everybody can buy because it is not for men.
Yeah, it's for women.
It is so funny. It is so funny how people are just buying it just because they feel like I can drink it. Why do you say it's not for me? I'll buy it. I'm a man. I'll drink it. It's just water. But what is she trying to do? She's trying to prove that there can be visibility for anything you want to be visible. And for her, she has a unique story with it, how she wanted to empower women, how she wanted women to do the everyday thing like drinking water and still remember that they can. So the water is called She Can. And of course, it's in a can. So it kills like two birds with a stone. So she can because she can. So she is literally empowering women. With her brand, colorful cans, like 5 different variants of the water. Colors, beautiful. People just love it. It is still water, but they feel like, well, I can vibe with it. I can literally choose the color of the can that I want my water in on any given day. And
Mm.
she's polarizing the market.
Yeah.
There are many people who buy the water just because of how beautiful it looks and how feminine it looks. So people don't have to come with unique ideas. You can just sell what people buy, and that is it. So business being not for us doesn't mean you are solving a unique problem that people have. There is a problem that people have been solving. Join the people who are solving that problem, and let's all keep solving it. Nobody's kicking you out. You can always go for the low risk ones, and you can go for the higher risk ones when you have a lot of money to lose and when you can bear those risks. But you can start something anytime you want without necessarily having a unique idea that nobody has seen before. And if you think that is not something you can go by, remember that there is someone who has started just selling water for just women, and it is doing well.
So it's not always about, let's say, if a water problem has been solved, you need not to come and then add up to, also trying to solve the water problem again because someone has established that already. You can also enter into it. But then again, there is a way to present yourself. There is a
Innovate.
format in which to come so that you can also stand out and then people get to know you.
Exactly. It's all about innovation. So there is nothing new under the sun, like they say. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Things that people are doing, you have to innovate on it. You have to bring some innovation into it. It's just like acquiring a business. You acquire a business because you think you can do better with it, right? You buy it, maybe you add some test skills, what they are not doing, or sell at places they are not selling, and you can increase the market share. That is all to it. So everybody could be innovative in anything they do. Look, let me give you an example. During this summer, do you know how many people that will be thirsty and have said to themselves that when I get to the next shop, I'll just get some chilled water to drink? When the first time I went to New York, I saw a kid selling chilled water. Look, this is something you would have seen back in Africa, in Ghana. So this guy had a bucket with water, bottles of water in it, and he just bought ice and just spread the ice cubes on them. And it will shock you. I saw this guy sell this out, fill the bucket again, pour more ice on it, and I kept turning my head, and this guy was still selling. If this guy made $300 that day, it means that guy was going to make 9,000 pounds in 30 days. What did he do? He was selling water that everybody sells, but he was selling it in a hot condition at a time where people are busy on the streets, where you don't want to pop into the next shop in Times Square to buy water for, let's say, $3.
Yeah.
And he's selling the same amount that you would have sold for, a shop that is not too expensive. And nobody's even asking him to go away. He's not paid for shop. He's not paid for electricity. He's not paid for nothing. Even if I don't know what happens there. If they call it council or whatever. If the council comes to say like, hey, kid, you cannot sell here, he will move to the next place. This guy is never going to prison for selling water. Trust me. If they ever take this guy to court, society will come and bail him out because people will just clap for him for trying to be entrepreneurial, to sell.
Yeah.
So this guy is never going to pay for a shop room. This guy is never going to do anything that is an overhead cost. All he needs to do is what? Get a water, sell it, make money, and go away. So what is his innovation? His innovation is what? Knowing that it is hot, you cannot get into the shops, and for that high street in New York, you would have to pay so much for water. So he has brought it right in front of you. So the moment you chance on him, you'll be like, oh, I needed a chilled water. I needed a bottle of water. You buy it.
Wow. Interesting. So it's not just that business is just for a certain group of people, and then we should allow them to do their thing, and also for us to also be doing our things, because like you said, everyone is in one way or the other into business, because once you are selling your time, you are selling something, somebody's buying your time, and it's like buying and selling. So all of us are in business, but in different forms. So now it is for you to magnify the business you are in or to advance it. And that is where the separation of those who are hopping onto opportunities.
Who are going to be wealthy. Exactly. Those who are going to be rich. Yeah. Because some people would only sell their time. For instance, if you are earning salary, you know you are going to take 12 paychecks in a year. Yeah. If you're going to have a bonus, that is 13.
Yeah.
But I don't have that. Anybody doing business is taking so much risk. I can lose a lot of money in the first quarter, second quarter, but in the last quarter, I can make all of the money. And that's how business is. And at some point, when what you've read in the book, like when it is repeated, that I know that this is what I made in the last quarter, it made me 300,000 pounds. If I'm able to repeat it, that means every quarter I'm making 300,000 pounds. And that is 1.2 million in a whole year. So if you don't understand these things, you will never know how it works. And when one thing works, as the book says, you repeat it, set it in automation, get people to operate it without you, and becomes a full-fledged business on its own. There you can say you have multiple streams of income. And I always say, even if you have a job, just get a side hustle. Just get something that don't take your time. Sell on Amazon. Sell on TikTok shop. Just try to sell something. You don't lose too much trying to put yourself out there. And it works. It really, really, really works. It really works.
Okay. What mistakes should we not do that you think that if you are starting a business can cost you? And you yourself, what mistake did you do and that you realize that this mistake cost me, and then you saw that you shouldn't repeat this mistake to prevent future,
Yeah, so the mistakes I did was I'm letting my passion go ahead of me in business. Business is data, business is repetition,
yeah,
and business is money.
yeah,
You have to understand how money moves. And I've said this before, that if you are selling to people who don't want what you are selling and not ready to pay for, you are just wasting your time. The most painful thing you can do is to sell something that people don't want. Right. So I'll come again to my message product. Do people want water? Do people drink water? Yes. So anytime I'm able to corner you to present water in front of you, it's a product that you need. You don't
yeah,
look, unless you don't want to look. For instance, if I am matching the market price, right, and you go into Tesco to buy water for 20 pounds, for 20, let's say 24 bottles, and I'm able to give you the same quantity, save you the time from going to Tesco, would you buy it or not? You have it. So the whole thing is you have to sell things that people want. And that is why for me, I'm very excited about my Mrs. product. Look at my businesses, cleaning. I don't really chase people to clean their homes. When people really want me, it will shock you. These people call you and be like, we have a program on Saturday and it's Thursday. So the only day they have is what? Friday. There are days we finish the cleaning right before the guests start walking in. So it tells you that is something people need. And when
Yeah.
people call you like that and they are desperate, you give them the highest price. I give you my express price. If it is 200 pounds, you are paying 400 pounds because it's extra pressure on me. I have to get people, maybe I have to incentivize people to come because I'm calling my team on short notice, or I'm subcontracting it on short notice. So selling what people want is one of the things you don't have to go, away from. Otherwise, you make a mistake. Many people have hobbies and they want to monetize their hobbies. And that is very strong. So if you look at, I think this, I'm not an expert on it. Ikigai, I think it's a Japanese concept where you know what you are good at, what the world wants, and provide that value. So what are you good at? You're good at making soaps, right? Okay. So there's a chance for you to make money from soaps. But does the world, or does your community, or does wherever you can reach, do they want soaps? If they want soaps, you are never going to have a job because you're going to do what you love and you get paid for it.
Yeah.
But if whatever you love doing, people don't want it, don't follow your passion and do it. So that is a key mistake I made early in business, or the key mistake that I would advise people not to make in business. Never sell what you are passionate about. Sell what people want. Look, I don't stand by the roadside and asking people, come wash your car. The moment we start washing the cars and they see the water splashing and they are just turning to Tesco, they know their car is dirty. They know their wife told them that, look, your car is dirty. Sometimes they leave the cars and this case will write on the cars, where the dirt is. They try to write on it and they know, it's an indication that my car is dirty. They just pop in. That is, we get busy and we call for backup. You get it? So when you do business that people want, you do not suffer. And when you get money from that, that is where you can attempt the things that you have to convince people to want.
Yeah.
And that is why many tech companies always raise funds, because the things they are selling, you may not see the problem instantly. They have to tell you that you have a problem. So now they have to get so much money to go down the J curve, burn money to the bottom of the J before people get the product awareness. Now it rises. Now it becomes what? It has, now they achieve a product market fit. But for many businesses, there is a product market fit there. Just get a good location or just get a good audience and sell to them. If you cannot determine anything that people want, just look at yourselves, look around you. What do you eat? What do you drink? What do you use? What product do you see? What do you think you use on a daily basis? And try to think around it, get a brand for yourself, and just take your market share. Everybody can take a market share in whatever business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've established a business, it's running well. At what point do I have to look out to say, okay, I'm making enough profit to say the business has come to stay or has stabilized?
Right. So there is a concept, called CAC and LTV. So CAC is CAC, that's customer acquisition cost. For every business, you need to acquire customers, and there is a cost to that. Whether you're going to run ads, whether you're going to employ a salesperson that you pay £40,000 a year, that is your customer acquisition cost, right? To be calling people to get into the business, to become clients or customers. Then we have LTV, that's the lifetime value of the customer. Any customer that comes, what is the lifetime value? So if you are selling, let's say, a box of oranges for £20 and you spend £2 to get one customer to buy it, that means your £2 is the customer acquisition cost. When one customer buys it just once, that means the lifetime value of that customer is for £20. When you get a customer with the £2 and that customer repeatedly buys it once a week, so over a week, over a year, they bought like 52 times. That means 52 times what? 120. That's 52 times 20, and that is what? 1,040. That means the LTV of the customer is what? 1,040. So you're spending £2 to get 1,040. Then you understand that your metric is what? £2 gives me 1,040. £2 give me 1,040. So when you spend £200, you are getting what? 10,000 what? 400. I'll ask you a question. If I told you that you can start a business and spend £200 and get 10,400, do it.
I don't even ask any further questions.
You don't even ask any further questions. And that's how investors think. So if I am going to invest in your business and you are able to tell me that, look, for any £200 I put in, we are going to make 10,400, I'm in. So these things are called the metrics or the unit economics of the business. Now let's step it down. That is outrageous because most businesses don't make that ratio. The easiest ratio per data is 1:3. That means for every $1 you spend in customer acquisition, you are hoping to get what? 3 out of it. So if you have any business that you are spending £20 on ads and you are getting £60, it is a good business. So when you start a business, make sure you are making 3 times more than the amount, 3 times of what you are spending to what? Acquire customers or to get a good sold. And that is a very good metric. So if you're watching here today, King Obed podcast, and you don't know where to get you to know that your business is doing well, hear me out, and I kid you not. If you have a 1:3 CAC to LTV ratio, you are good to go. Double down to that business. If you put 1 million, you are getting 3 million. If you put 100,000, you are getting 300,000. If you put 10K, you are getting 30K. That is good business.
That is a good business.
And if it is more than that, hallelujah.
Okay. So these are some of the ways that we can turn what we have and the little investment that we want to invest in something into something which is so profitable for us to not lose hope in the business going forward.
Exactly. That's how you have to go around it. The normal rhetoric is that one part of the 3 portions of whatever you get is going to customer acquisition. Another part is going to, let's say, then staff expenditure. Then the last part is what? Your gross profit. Yeah. And for any business, if you are making, so let's say if anything is broken down to 3 parts, that means 33%. Any business that makes 33% profit is okay. Trust me, there are many businesses that are making 5% profit, and it's a lot of money. 5% on 500 million of sales is a lot of money. If you do the calculations, imagine if you have a business that is doing 5 million, 5% of that is still a lot of money. That's not 30%. And there are businesses that do 70% profit.
Yeah.
There are businesses that even do 80% profit. I have when you go to my TikTok, my TikTok handle is Dennis Akoto Official. I have a cleaning business starter kit that sells for £29. I took a day to write it and I put it on online on PayHip. I just put a link on there. But because I give a lot of value, I educate people about cleaning business. They want to buy my starter kit. And it was just a day. Even yesterday, somebody bought it. Any day they buy it, I'm making money 100%. I am not paying anything. I'm not paying any transportation. So if I tell you that people are making 90% or 80%, don't be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I make 100% of a product. That gives me money every now and then. Let me tell you one thing. If I wake up today and 2 people buy my starter kit, that is over £50 without me doing anything. So how can I have some IP? How can I have some product that I don't work on that gives me roughly £50 a day? That is good money. Even if it's £50 a week, that is still good money. Any day that I want to, I can just go online, talk, give the vibe, talk about cleaning, reassure people of the authority I have in the cleaning space, give them evidence, and they'll go back to my profile and they'll buy my starter kit to start their businesses. And of course, that's even immense value for them. And what do I get? £29 per head. There are days that I've sold over 50 of them. 50 downloads. Let me just put it this way for you. 50 downloads. Those peak days when I put on, I sold 50 of them. And it was just like a day's jobs. People don't, and that's what I'm saying. And when I was even mentioning my businesses, I didn't mention this because it is not something that I'm really productizing.
Yeah.
But if I really want to productize this is good business for me. Because if I'm able to constantly get online, talk about cleaning, and always direct people to buy that, and I sell 100 of them a day, that is £290. No,
Somebody also
£2,900. That is £2,900 a day.
Yeah.
If I sell 10 a day, that's £290.
£290.
Just 10. And one day, just let's do a dare podcast, and I'll just show you my workflow, how I can just make money in a matter of 30 seconds. And we'll all be on, we start doing stuff, and we see money coming, and you'll be shocked how much money you can make online.
I think maybe we need to do a live one for people to.
Yeah, a live one. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I can do just sales. I can just literally be with you, then call 20 people, and I can get 3 people to sell this to them at £29. And I would have made almost £90 in 30 minutes. Because I just decided to pick people who are in my. Thanks to God, I've reached 10,000 followers on TikTok. Hallelujah. I'm really celebrating it because it's a big milestone for me. Yeah. This is the first time I've gotten 10,000 followers on any platform ever. I thought LinkedIn was going to take me there, but at some point, I think I capped around 2K on LinkedIn. Then TikTok started picking up for me, and I just doubled down on it. So imagine 10,000 people. All of them know what I do. All of them know I'm a cleaner. All of them know I run a business. I'm on my van. I'm always having sometimes dirty shoes. Sometimes I do the videos. I'm literally cleaning, holding the vacuum cleaners. They know what I do. So there is that authority. There is that relatability. So just in front of me and you, I can just randomly call anybody out of the 10,000 people. And Ken Obed, no, you cannot tell me that I cannot sell 5 of the digital products to people in 30 minutes. And that is our £50.
Yeah. Wow. You're making some good money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And
it's very funny.
Yeah. Some of the things. Somebody will also say that, what about if nobody buys it? You know, you're not getting the money. All the money that you're mentioning is because people are buying. What if? Because in every factor there's the what if factor. What if people don't buy? Then it means that, if you're only doing that thing, then it means you are at a loss for that week. How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to do the other stuff?
Brings me to the thing I said. That means you are selling something people don't want. You are selling people something people don't want. Look, Doc, if it is summer and I come to stand in front of any auditorium that people are in, and people start coming out and it's hot, you cannot tell me nobody will buy water from me if it is chilled.
Yeah.
People want it. Trust me, if there are 100 people, 5 people might buy it, and that is money for me. So what if people don't buy it? What if what you are selling is not what people want? But if it is actually what people want, of course, there is always a conversion rate.
Yeah.
For context, I know people that listen, your audience are very, versed in business, but let me just explain for those who don't understand this thing. Conversion rate is what? The amount of people from the people that are seeing your product, the amount of people from those people that buy it. So let's say you have leads. Leads are people who have the potential to become your customers or buy from you. But not all of them will buy from you. Those that will buy from you are the people who have converted. And there is a rate for them. So if there are 100 people that you're showing the products to, and 5 of them buy, the conversion rate is what? So it's a numbers game. More the fact that you have something that people want, you don't get worried because one person says they will not buy it. It is just because they don't need it at that time. So keep going till you get to that conversion rate. So if I tell you today that you're going to sell this for £100, and you have to talk to 100 people, surety, the assurance I'm giving is that out of that 100 people you're going to talk to, 10 of them will buy it. And one of the commodity or the product is £100. So if 10 people buy it, that is what, £1,000. When you get to the 80th person, will you still go on to get to the 100th person? Yes. Because you know that by the time you get to 100, there is an assurance that even if you get to 90, the 91st to the 100th person will be your customers. So that is how it works. You have to get a metric and you have to understand what conversion rate is. So if you know that my conversion rate is normally 20%, then you know that if you talk to 10 people, 2 are what? Buying from you.
Yeah.
If you talk to 100 people, 20 are buying from you. So please get something people want and understand conversion rate. Not everybody will buy it, but definitely when you do more, there'll be an amount of people that will buy from you, and that should make sense to you in terms of your revenue expectations.
Definitely. I think you've given us insight into some of these things. And you see, the book talks about 10 ways to evaluate a market, and some of these things that you're talking about pops in. And I think one of them is the customer acquisition the cost of customer acquisition that you talk about. And another one to evaluate a market, it says urgency. How badly do people want or need this right now?
Oh, Doc, I tell you. And that's why even when I was talking about water, I spoke about weather. When it's very hot and your water is chilled, Trust me, there is an urgency. Look, many people are walking dehydrated. They're like, oh, when I get to this shop, I'll buy water. And they see you just selling it. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. How much is it? £2. Just take it. Now there is tech everywhere. You can literally use your phone to accept payment. I go to my barbers and they literally use their phones and I tap on it. I tap my phone on their phone and they take payment. And it's so nice how, look, there has never been a time that it's been easy to start a business
than now.
Never in the history. And do you know the beautiful part? It is even going to get better. Now, people cannot complain about cash. People spend more. Why? Because they don't spend from their pocket. They even spend money they don't have. Now, you selling stuff, you can literally add Klarna to it, and people can pay with Klarna.
Yeah.
So people don't even have money to pay that for that £100 product. They can pay in installments. What about even taking the money? Now, there are many of the softwares that you can get on your phone. You can turn your phone to what? POS, a point of sale. So you can literally give your phone to somebody. You can literally, put the amount on it, go on the software. Somebody also tap their own phone. Everybody now has their card on their phone. It will shock me how many people, if there is even more than 20% of the populace that don't have their card on their phone, especially those using iPhones, they all have their cards in their wallet. So you just put on your phone, they tap it, you've collected money. Recently, I went to Paris, and around Champs-Élysées, I saw a guy. I was like, on a holiday, don't worry, don't talk to this person. I'm like, I want to talk to him. I'm like, guy, how much are you making? He said, on a bad day, I'm making 500 euros a night. 500 euros a night. Do you know what he does? He takes pictures of people. And this guy's marketing, wasn't. He just gets to you and show you pictures he has taken and be like, can I take pictures of you for, let's say, 10 euros, 20 euros? And you know the annoying thing, the guy is not very good in marketing. So let's do this now. If you make 500 euros a night times
500 euros.
Yeah, a night.
If
you know Champs-Élysées in Paris, that is creme de la creme of style. That's where all the big shops are. That is where people are ready to spend. That is where all the perfume, Louis Vuitton, all the designers are like, it's like a mile stretch of designer, everything, like all the bougie stuff. 15,000. So if this guy works actively for the first month, take 15 minutes, days off, come back again, and work on 6 months. That means you're working roughly 4 months out of that 6 months. This times 4, 60,000 pounds. This guy can work in 6 months and he's done for the whole year.
Wow.
In that 6 months, he has taken 2 months off.
Interesting. I think
this guy will just come to you. Go on. This guy will just come to you and be like, oh, you show you some of the nice pictures he's taking. And people like it, like, okay, yeah, this is where I'm standing. I took this picture you took of somebody here is very nice. So can you take the same picture of me? And there were queues where he's shown pictures to 4 people and they're all waiting for him to take pictures of them. Now, let me tell you what I told this guy. I'm like, look, that is so blunt. This is not marketing. Do not go to them and show them pictures because your conversion rate will be down. My missus was like, do you have to teach everybody business? I'm like, take pictures of them. You know, in business, you don't ask for permission. You ask for forgiveness. Normally, you would ask for people's permission to take pictures of them. No, take pictures of them. If you show it to them, they are pissed. Tell them you are sorry. And delete it in front of them.
Yeah.
So if you are here and want to start, I'm telling you that if you want to be brutal with business, do not ask for forgiveness. Do not ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness. So I told him that don't ask people. Just take pictures of them without them knowing. Now go to them and show them the picture. Doc, if you have gone on a holiday, what is your most asset that you bring back to the UK?
Memories of pictures and, you know, all the
pictures
you visited.
So if I got you an on-looking picture, you were just walking and I took you against the buzzing street and all of those Louis Vuitton buildings and everything, is there a higher chance that you like the picture?
Definitely. I'm going to
then I'll ask you. Then I'll ask you to post. Then I'll take 10 more of it. So this is what I told him. I'm like, take 10 more of it. Take so many pictures that now when you ask them to pay £5 per the picture, they will not be able to choose which one they want to. So they'll be like, okay, I want 2 for £10. They'll be like, okay, I've taken 20 pictures of you. Take all of them for £20. Because 20 times 5 would have been 100. So now the person is feeling like he's getting the value of £100 for £20. And this guy couldn't stop thanking me.
Wow.
Because that could move him from £500, 500 euros to what? 1,000 euros a night. And I don't know why I'm not a photographer in Paris at this minute.
Wow.
And that's what I was telling you about.
Yes.
Exactly. So that abundance is very important. So ask me here, it is difficult to tell me that I'll be poor because I know how to make money. Look, I can now just go to Paris or even go to London, go to, wherever I think people come to tour and start taking pictures, and I'll make money. If you would dare me, let's do a podcast on a road. Let's go and see if we can ask people, that if they could give us some money to take pictures that we've taken of them, and it will shock you. We're not going to come back with less than hundreds of pounds, especially Chinese tourists. They have a lot of money.
We need to serialize this and then have like some of these things as you are talking about,
Yeah.
because when it comes to business, people have different, especially for us who are coming from a typical Ghanaian African background, where we've not been conditioned to own certain things, and we think that certain things are for certain group of people. And even for those who are into it, they don't even see it as the business aspect of it. They are just selling. People are just, somebody just comes and then buys small, and then that is all. So like, trying to acquire all these skills, build it together, and then do all these kind of things. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah. It's
interesting. It's interesting.
Like I just mentioned, would you have thought that somebody has the potential of making 15,000 a month just from taking pictures in the evenings? Yeah. And this is a street that people go to tour. This is where people go to tour. So it's a fancy place to be. Imagine being around those places, talking to different types of people, having fun in the bars of the night, and still making money. So I don't see how people are poor.
It's interesting how like you have come to understand business, and then people are still struggling. We see that businesses are all over us. They are surrounded us, but we still cannot see the prospects of whatever we have around us, and we are still selling the most active hours of our time to people, and then they give us a bigger salary, and then we are complaining everything.
That is fair, because to be fair, like I said, I don't wish everybody becomes a business person. Who are we going to employ?
Yeah.
All that I've told, your audience today, my expectation is that 95% of them will not do this. They won't do it. And that is why we have employees. And of course, that's how the system is. We need employees.
Definitely.
And just go away, not take any risk. But the 5% of your audience, and if you're watching me today, if you're part of that 5%, know that there is somebody who just go to fancy places people come to, just take pictures of them and makes 15,000 pounds a month. And you are stuck trying to make 1,800, 2,000 pounds in a whole month, doing what you don't love, committing 12 hours. Some people work 12 hours a day for 5 days before they make 2K in a month.
I'm telling you.
Imagine.
I'm telling you. And so, we see it as, I think the reason why we are so comfortable with this is we think, we kind of say, okay, this one is guaranteed. This one is stabilized. Like it's giving me a stable job. That is how we term it. And
yes,
we are so afraid. Stability. We are so afraid. We are so afraid to take the next step, the next risk, because we feel that if we take the what if factor, I think the what if, the unknown, the fear of the unknown, the future, risk is like, the thing will be in a limbo. If it doesn't work, what happens to us? So for instance, if we've quit our job, which is giving us a stable income or salary, and then now we come to a point where we are now starting afresh, and then everything crashes. Where do we go again? So
when we go again,
yes, all of these things in consideration, people think, okay, let me stay where I am. I don't want to, go and then worry my head, and then later, I have to come back again and all. So people are still in limbo. They don't know how to figure all these things out. But you need to start from somewhere.
You need to start from somewhere, and that fear of where your next paycheck is going to come from, that is what is keeping everybody in employment. And if you realize what I've been saying, I'm just talking about overcoming rejection. I'm just talking about getting out of, your comfort zone to talk to people. For instance, this business model I mentioned, for some people, it will be difficult, even because of their temperament. It will be very difficult for them to approach somebody to say that, look, I took a nice picture of you, and I think you should post for me to take more of you.
Yeah.
As simple as it sounds, some people will cringe to death if they ever have to do that. So just that is their problem. There are many ladies I see around that hold cameras. If they come to your party, they will take pictures for you for free because they like taking pictures. Have you seen some around? There are many guys that are professional, Nikon cameras, and they are not making any money from it. They just love taking pictures. All of these people can make money. People have iPhone 17. It takes great pictures, and they are not making money from it. Look, People have all it takes to make money and they are still not making money just because they cannot ask somebody to give them money. But doing the painful thing, the most painful thing is to ask somebody to give you money for free. Doc, if now I ask you to give me 10 pounds, I'm hustling. It's a difficult thing, right? But if I come to you and be like, Doc, this is what I'm selling, I think you need it. Even if you don't need it, there is a chance for you to buy it because you feel like you are supporting my business. People would rather not ask you to support their business, but they would rather ask you and beg you for money. So for all of you that have taken money from people before, that have asked people to help you before, trust me, you should rather channel that to asking people to buy from you. How would you be like? Let me put this to you in a very nice way. There is this young guy in your church who is trying to get things moving, and he comes to you like, Doc, I'm hustling. I'm not asking you to give me money for free. Is there anything on your to-do list that I can do for you to give me £50? Will you think about giving this guy something to do and give him that money if you can?
Obviously, because it's like an exchange.
Exactly. An exchange. But all of these young guys will be bold enough to tell that, bro, it's not going well. I've not been able to buy groceries for the past 3 days. Can you give me some tenner?
I think
But they
the
can
problem
actually
is that the problem is that we don't see the business aspect of things. We don't see the
Exactly.
business aspect of things. So we think that let
Exactly.
those who have established themselves and then do whatever they are
Themselves.
doing. Forget
Yeah.
about us. We will be fine. We will just
Yeah,
go to our jobs and be okay.
And my painful point is, if you are able to beg a fellow human for money, why can't you ask them to patronize whatever you are selling?
We fear rejection.
We fear rejection. But when it comes to getting some money to buy some groceries, there we know we are the die minute.
Yeah.
So then get to that point.
Yeah.
If you are a young guy listening to me, you can literally approach the big guys in your church, in your community, the big guys you respect. Look, give them respect. One thing with power is that people like it when you respect them.
Yeah.
Trust me, there are people, if you go to them and ask them for £1,000 loan and they don't have it, the fact that they know you are thinking they have that money puts pressure on them. So go to all of this. If you're a young guy here, I only advise this to your young ladies. If you're a young lady, go to a lady, because I don't want you to be exploited, because now there are bad guys in the street.
Yeah.
The street is very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please, if you're a lady, don't go to guys asking for opportunities. They may want to take advantage of you. I don't want my way to encourage you to do anything that you've not planned to, or to be taken advantage of. So if you are a lady, go to these ladies that you respect. Tell them, look, sister, I'm really struggling with this I'm doing, and I'm not making as much money as I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to make. Is there anything that you are having problems with that I can do for you, so you can just put me on this retainer? It will shock you. Many people even give you money and be like, I don't have anything for you to do now, but when there is anything, I'll come for you. And they will never stand anywhere to say that you begged for money. They will rather tell people what you've done is something they've never heard of. So all the time, what you need is just on the other side of asking. But when you are asking, exchange. Like you said, doctor, tell the person, is there anything that you want me to do that I can do for you? Is there any admin stuff? Is there any books that I need to work on? Is there anything that you think you don't like doing that I can just support you with? Are there any errands that I can do for you? Is there anything that I need to chase for you that I can do, and you give me this amount of money?
Yeah.
It will shock you that after calling 10 people, there will be like 1, 2, or 3 people that will be like, they will even create things that they weren't even going to do and be like, okay, do this and I'll give you that. And you are becoming an agency. You are becoming an agency like that. Now it will turn from just doing for somebody for money to, okay, oh, my friend also wanted this done. Can you do it for them?
Yeah.
Then you get another hand.
Yeah.
You get an extra hand, and you have a business. Let's assume without admitting that you're never going to have a business. If you're lacking money, go provide people value for people and ask them to pay for it, and people will pay for it.
Okay. So how can I make money from my podcast?
Right. So it's easy. Just of course the bare minimum that you know how to do. All you need to do, is of course sell ads. That is the obvious thing that everybody knows, and I think you know this is no brainer for me to tell you. But if I was going to be creative with this podcast, I would just try to build an audience for a host.
Okay.
You get it? That is one thing people do not exploit. So now somebody is selling hair for black women. Good. Their target audience is black women. All right. I'll go to a church. I'll go to a community that has a group of black women that are having a program. And as part of the program lineup, I would pay £200 to have a podcast session, a live podcast session with what? The audience. Where I'll be interviewing one of the women. Whatever they are going to talk about, we are going to make it in a question and answer form. So for instance, I could have had a speech and talk about all of these things I'm talking about, but it is coming together depending on how you ask the questions. So I'll pay them that, look, I'm sponsoring, Kinobet Podcast is sponsoring this program. So it is £200 for you. all you need me to, all I need you to do is let me orchestrate this part of what the program. So you're not changing anything, you are just changing the model. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's fine, that's nice, that's innovative. The girls will love to have a podcast setting. The girls sat down, 300 black women sat down and watch a live podcast, which is informative. Then from then, you get the audience size. Then go to whoever is selling and be like, you are going to have eyes on 300 ladies. Your customer acquisition cost is maybe £30 per customer acquisition.
Yeah.
So 300 times what? 30 is what?
30, 900.
No, not 9,000. 9,000, not 900. Yeah, times 30 is 9,000. So why don't you pay me £1,000? And you are also going to be in front of all of these people. We are going to spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes talking about this product and how it works for black hair. So you've leveraged £200 to get £1,000, and you're working out with what? £800. Just because you got the audience, because for you as a podcaster, all you are leveraging on is your audience.
Yeah.
So, and for instance, if you want to sell to a company that is targeting young men, you just get into a program that young men are doing, try to get a live podcast and assure them that, look, if 500 young men are going to see your product today, how much do you think you should pay for? They're like, okay, for programs like that, our product is being shown to our exact audience, we pay around £2,000. So, okay, give me £1,000 and your product is going to be shown to these people, and it works like magic. So that's why I'll do this. I think you, of course, you are just tricking me with this question. You know what to do already, but this is just a weird thing I'll
No,
do.
we are still struggling. We are still, it's still a growing podcast, and we are still trying to leverage on the consistency, and then as well also try to align, and then as time goes on, we try to actually get the other stuff into place, and then we make it a full functional one. But for now, we try as much as possible to keep it running, keep it going.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I would have done. I mean, just something I don't think many podcasters are doing. Just trying to get an audience that a product is looking for. Leverage to do a live podcast. One-off. And that is it. You are making money. So if you are having one for every week and you are getting like 1K, 2K, you know that every weekend you are making these 2K easily just to push your brand forward. Yeah. So just keep going. I know very soon the ads will start flowing.
Definitely, that's what we are
just
hoping
positioning,
for.
and
Yeah,
exactly. You are very much positioned very well. So
2 years,
let's
2
pray it
years
goes
running.
well. Yeah.
So we see how it goes.
Wow.
Yeah,
You've done
2
really
years
well for yourself,
this
Doc.
month. Yeah, I was 2 years. I think last week I celebrated
And
my.
you are constantly selling. Look, I don't know how much money you are making, or even if you have started. I mean, making
I'm
so
not
much money
making
from it.
money. I'm trading money.
Exactly. But people don't. Exactly. But you are, for 2 years, you are constantly selling to people, giving people reasons why they should be on a podcast.
Yeah.
Sometimes the last time you got Kofi Amwabin, rich guy, the Ghanaian rich bank owner on it, I'm like, wow, this guy is going far. And that is how it works. You understand? 2 years, you have all of this trail to yourself, and people can check what you've done. And if you are selling anything, let's say you're selling a product on podcasting or how to start it, nobody will doubt you because the receipts are there.
Definitely.
When they go to your socials, they can see it. And that's what I said I used to get that digital product going on TikTok.
I think it's one thing I've been trying to look into, because I've done one session where I did like how to start a podcast training session with people. And then so it's something that I just want to, take time and then build like a portfolio and then capitalize on it. And we see how it goes. So in the next 30 seconds, tell us about Shikan water.
Okay. So Shikan is water not for men. I think I've been really pressing on this can, so it's a bit crumpled, but it is water that is made to celebrate women. It is my wife's product. When she's had 2 cesarean sessions, and at the time she even had difficulty drinking water.
Okay.
So she used to talk about how she realized many things are women exclusive. Some pain are women exclusive.
Yeah.
And I would say that there is a ton of wisdom that comes from suffering. And anytime you suffer as a person, always know that there is some wisdom that comes with it.
Yeah,
So
somebody
anytime
said
you
that pain is a teacher.
Exactly. There is wisdom, there's wisdom from knowing this, there is wisdom from knowledge, wisdom for applying knowledge. But there is some amount of wisdom that only comes from suffering. And you cannot joke with that. So she was talking about how exclusively. Women go through some things that they even think is normal, that they don't know. For me as a man, I would never have to worry about drinking water,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anytime a woman has a cesarean, they are mandated to drink some amount of water to pass urine before they are even discharged. And it becomes a chore. And all of these realizations, she really thought through, and she just put this product out that we are all supporting to catch fire. So she can is everyday water. It's actually spring water, but per legislation, when we say spring water, we have to do all the new cans to show
Yeah.
the source
Yeah.
of the scan of the cans and all of that. So that is going to be done in the next run. But she has given premium water out in fancy cans that women would love. There are many colors. I think there's a lavender color. There is Terra Rose. The colors are quite exotic. Terra Rose. There is original cream. There is dusty blue. What else? There is also
All the fancy
I've forgotten
colors.
them. All the fancy colors that turquoise. And there is a scarlet. There is a color coming that is scarlet, and that's going to be limited. Yeah,
Okay.
based on joining a wait list. So people are actually going to join a wait list just to get hair water. In their cabinets or in their fridges. So that's what she came up with. It's just to remind women that you can. So on the can, they've written on it because she can. Anytime you do something basic as drinking water, just remember that you can. Anything you're going through as a woman, just remember that you can. If it is academics, if it's just your hormones flaring up, if it's just anything that is exclusive to women that people may not even understand, so you may not even bother to explain. In your own corner, know that you can. So she made the cans very beautiful in all of those colors, so women can really relate to it. It is very feminine, and of course, it is boldly written on it that not for men. So if you are a man, you cannot have this water. If you drink it, it's illegal. Maybe me, I can try because hey, my wife owns it, but it is strictly for women. So that is it. It's out there. Yeah, it is not in the shops yet. So now they're all getting online, TikTok shop and Amazon and all of that.
Yeah.
And also you can also buy from the website. I think now the price is a bit on the higher end because anybody that is buying is actually supporting the brand. But when it gets to the point where the MOQ is achieved, you ordering a lot, like you really, affecting a lot of manufacturing, then price is going to drop. So
Yeah.
if anybody loves this and they want the price to drop, just keep buying it. So she can afford to get the bigger batches and get like half of it slashed away and we all get a cheap product. And for now, I think people are loving it. People who can relate to it and they really know that, yeah, I've also gone through some challenge that is woman exclusive. They all vibe with it and they want to keep it. And beautiful thing is when people order the water, they want a mix. And that's why I really understood market dynamics. I didn't understand how ladies will react to it, but it is working because when all the ladies request for it, they don't want just one color. They want all the 5 colors mixed. So they want to just get a vibe, feel it. Of course, they are supporting a woman product, but they really want the aesthetics to also work for them. So yes, she can is here to stay and is booming. It's catching fire on the market.
Wow. That is when you marry a serial entrepreneur. You also turn one, of course, and then you also join the tree. So I've been seeing some of her TikTok videos, marketing and all. How was it
Yeah,
like?
she's out there.
Yeah, she's out
So
there.
I think before the product came, it was a bit of course you use AI. Now if you don't leverage AI, you're joking. So you use AI to put something out there just to get some followers even before it was launched. When the moment it launched, she put her founder story out there and I think it was really touching. Even when you realize that when I was talking about it, I was a bit down, try to really reconnect, and it's a bit emotional. But she put all the hard work into it, and she really loves the product, and that is it. So now she's very out there. She's doing her TikToks and everything. Before then, she had been online. Of course, we are all online, just trying to get on the other side of our comfort zone. And if you don't get it, you can never really, really make any money. So that is it. The most important thing is this: it is something that she can relate to as a woman, and that is one thing. For a founder, anything that you are offering is something that should be relatable to you, and that should be something that you also believe that people are going to relate to. If you ask me, where does this fall in terms of that value creation? I'll say it's more of status because it gives women back their status as women. It is not anything different from water. It is water, but like I mentioned, you're either selling, giving people back their time, taking some risk, or selling, giving them status. This gives women that status, and of course, the fact that it's not for men makes women know that yes, this is exclusive to us. We have exclusive issues we go through, and we can have our own water, and it's not for men.
Wow. Interesting. It's now like anyone who gets attached to you now becomes a business oriented person. And
I don't think
and
so.
and
I think
that is
I think for
interesting,
for for my, for my for myself and my missus, I think in as much as she has never, well, she had a shea butter brand called
Okay.
Roots, which,
Okay.
yeah, I was annoyed by it because in as much as it was in demand, I always told her, look, the margin is not worth your time because
Yeah.
it doesn't move. It's not a fast moving consumer goods. If you
Yeah.
are selling and the margins are little, it should be like water, where it's an FMCG, that's fast moving consumer good. But shea butter is not fast moving consumer good, and the margin is very little. So I'm like, you can't waste time doing all of these things for nothing. So she had really paid her dues, to be fair. She's done business and she understands it. She knows how it works. So she really, really inspires me most of the time. And of course, if I'm always out there doing business, there should somebody also, understand the risk I'm taking, and she
Yeah.
is really,
Yeah.
really, really into
Yeah.
businesses that I do, and it works that way. Either and that, that sometimes I take some risks because I know even if it doesn't work, I have somewhere to fall to.
I think that
That
is
is how it
why
works.
sometimes you need to get in touch or marry somebody who shares into the vision and you also share
Exactly.
like vice versa, because sometimes some of, like you're saying, some of the risk that comes with it, and if you don't get somebody who understands
Yeah,
what you want to do or what you're doing, it becomes a challenge. and
that's me.
and I think it's taking a lot of people from their purpose or from their destinies, things they were destined to do, because the other partner didn't even clearly understand what the other person wanted to do. And it creates a lot of
Yes.
differences between these two people. And so it's very good when you
Yeah.
get people, supporting what, or
Yeah.
like your partners
Yeah.
supporting what you do. It's very good.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
exactly what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, I think we've exhausted a lot of things about business and the practicality aspect of it. You doing the thing yourself. Sometimes when you speak to the people on the groundsmen, they're able to give you the
Yeah.
realities on the ground, not like, talking from book and, theories and all. These are practical stuff, things you are
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
And so people, yes,
Practicality. Yeah.
practicality. So people are able to look into the thing proper, and they're able to relate. People have watched our previous episodes and then they've reached out and say, who is this guy? Connect me to that person. And then, like, there's this guy in our church, always, Charlie, thank you for the guy you gave to me, you connected to me. He's been really helpful too. And I say, I'm also grateful for you getting to watch the video and then understand that there's somebody out there to
Understanding.
give
Yeah.
you value. And so you want to reach out to that person. I'm happy to connect, because that is the essence of this platform, for us to learn, connect, build ourselves and all. So if somebody is also willing to advance, of course, we should use the platform to help the person. So thank you very much for anytime opening your doors. I know you have a busy and a tight schedules, but you open your doors to the
Yeah.
Kinobet podcast, share your knowledge that you could have, sold out to people, but you come here, sit here for over 1 hour and share, relaxed and then willingly with us, for us to get insight into businesses. So we are most grateful. And I know that there will be, series of episodes, like we always say, to come on the King Obed podcast. So viewers, listeners, wherever you are watching us from or you watch these videos from, this has been the business side of the King Obed podcast, where we connected with Dennis,
Sharp.
who has been, a lifetime or a serial entrepreneur in the UK, doing all sorts of businesses, multiple businesses, and now they've launched a new product which is on the market. So you can grab, and it's only for women, Shikan water in different aesthetics forms. So they're online, you can get it, and then we can take it from there. So thank you very much for watching. And until we meet on the next episode, this has always been and will always be the King Obed podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for having me, Doc. Thank you.
Yes.